Okay, here are three quadratic equation questions. One just an equation, and then a couple worded problems. So in this question, I need to solve for x. First thing I'll do, and anytime you have an x that has an exponent that is 2 or more, you want to use a zero property. So I'm going to bring everything over to the left-hand side and make it equal to 0. That's important. And now we'll factor this function. And it looks a little funny because there's a 4 there, but if I'm looking for things that multiply to 10 and add to 3, I know it's 5 and 2, so there'll be a 5 and a 2. I think the 5 will be plus and the 2 will be negative. And then I split this up. So instead of, like if it's x squared, I split it into x and x. If it's actually the fourth, I'll split it into x squared, and x squared is equal to 0. Okay, so I have something times, so something multiplied by something gives me 0. So either x squared minus 2 is 0, or x squared plus 5 is equal to 0. Now I've got two equations that I could solve. Let's solve this one. So I'll add 2 to both sides. And then to solve for x, I'll take the square root of both sides. When you use the square root principle, don't forget the plus or minus. So my answer on this side will be x is equal to the plus or minus square root of 2. On this side, same thing, subtract 5 from both sides, take the square root of both sides, remember the plus or minus. So you get x is equal to the plus or minus square root of negative 5. Now a negative number, I can make that into a complex, well it's a complex number, but I can make it into an I form. So this is the same thing as the square root of 5 times the square root of I. Oh, sorry. Times the square root of negative 1. And the square root of negative 1 is I. So I get 4 answers to this question. So a positive and a negative root 2, and a positive and a negative root 5I. Anytime you have degree 4, that means you could have 4 answers for that question. Okay, here's the first worded question. I've got a rectangular poster, and it's 1 foot, the length is 1 foot more than the width. So if the width is W, the length is 1 foot more than that, so we'll call it W plus 1. Then they say a diagonal of the poster is 5 feet. So the question is, what is the width and the length? So this is a right triangle, so I can use Pythagoras. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. And so this is C, so it'll be 5 squared is equal to, let's use A for W. So it's W squared plus the other side, W plus 1 squared. Okay, and simplifying, I'll have 25 is equal to W squared plus, you'll have to FOIL that out. So this would be W squared plus W plus another W, so plus 2W plus 1 equals 25. And then I want to get everything on the right side, so it's equal to 0. So I'll have 2W squared plus 2W. If I bring this over and subtract, that'll be negative 25. So 1 minus 25 is a negative 24. Now here, all of these are divisible by 2. So I'll just divide everything by 2. Plus W minus 12. And then I'll factor. So W, I think it's plus 4 and a minus 3. So either the width is negative 4 or the width is 3. Having a negative number for a width doesn't make sense, so I'd say the width is 3, and then if you plug that back in right there, the length must be 4. Okay, hopefully that helps show that one. Here's one more. I get a box, and it's made by 10 by 20, and let me just draw a bigger picture of it. Okay, so this is 30 and this is by 20. And then they want to cut some kind of thing out of the bottom of it. And then fold that out. And then they say the area of this piece in here is 96. But I don't know this distance from there to there. I know from here to here is 20, but I don't know this inside distance. But I do know that this and this would be the same distance. I don't know what that distance is, and that's what they're asking for. And so I'll call it x, and we'll call this x. So this distance from here to here has to be 20, because the whole way is 20, minus those two x's. Let me just draw another box. So this side is going to be 20 minus 2x, and that's of the little box. And then this side, same thing here. This is x, and this part over here is x. If the whole distance is 30, then just this portion from there to there has to be the whole 30 minus those two x's. So this distance is 30 minus 2x. And I know the area is 96. So I can go area is equal to length times width. Area, they say, is 96. The length is 30 minus 2x. And the width is 20 minus 2x. Okay, so it's a quadratic. Let me FOIL the stuff on the right-hand side. So I'll have 600 minus 60x minus 40x. Hopefully that's right. Plus 4x squared is equal to 96. Okay, let's collect things. So I'll have 4x squared minus 100x plus 600. And then I'll bring this over, minus 96 equals 0. So 4x squared minus 100x plus 600, oh no, 600 minus, that would be 504. 504. Okay, now all of these have I think are divisible by 4, I'm hoping. Let's see if we can divide them all by 4. So this would be x squared minus 25x. 4 goes into 504. I'm hoping. 1. This would be 2. With 2 left over, that would be 6. 126 plus 126. Okay, so now I have to figure out what two numbers multiply to 126 and add to 25. Ooh, I don't know. Are there any numbers? I hope I did that right. 126, what will go into, well, 2. That'll go 63 times, but that adds up to way too much. How about 9? 9, will 9 go? 9 goes once. 9 into 36 goes 4. The 9 plus 14 is 23. That's close though. Yeah, I had to pause. But I figured it out. It's 7 and 18. It's 56, 5, 125, yeah. 7 and 18. Oh, that's a hard one. Okay, so x in at x, so minus 18 and minus 7. So to solve, this times this equals 0, so either x is 18 or x is equal to 17. Interesting that both of those would work. Oh, not 17. It'd be 7. But let's look at that. Could x be 18? Like this, if this is 18 and this is 18, that's 36. There's no way the whole width is 20, and so it can't be 18. But if it were 7, 7 here and 7 there, that's 14. So this little portion here could be, because the whole thing's 20, could be 6. That'd be an interesting looking container. Anyway, so the x would be 7, and so when we're looking at the diagram, so the x is the whole way of the original one's 20 minus 2 sevens, so this would be 6. And then this is 30 minus 2x, so 2 times, that's 14. 30 minus 14 is 16. So this side would be 16. Okay, so the dimensions would be 6 and 16. Hopefully that helps you with those 3 questions.